Hello guys, welcome back to the Beastie Room. We're going to have a pairing today. We're slowly getting on track now. We're slowly starting to get some of our females paired up, but it's a slow start, it really is. We've got an awful lot still to rehouse, and as we're getting through them, we've got males in the wings as well. So we're slowly starting to get through them. So what we're going to do now, we are going to pair today the Harpactira namaquensis, which is the Nambian Baboon. Now this is a pretty little baboon, really is quite nice. We did pair her once before, but unfortunately she molted out. So it's time to give her another go. Now we got this male here. This came in from our good friend Osman. He brought it over, and because we've just recently had the BTS show, and he bought this one for me along with another one, and yeah, let's go and have a look and see what happens. They really are pretty cool spiders, these baboons. I'll let you make up your own mind. I'll see you in a minute. Right, here we go. Today we are going to try and pair our Harpactira namaquensis, the Nambian Baboon. Now that's our male. As you notice there, he went in rather gently. He was very well behaved and nice and steady. Now he is a fresh male, so he should be fighting fit and raring to go. Normally once we get him in like this, we expect to see a little bit. You see there's a little bit of shaking in his legs there. We expect to see with these guys, they're normally quite active, and they communicate really well. As you can see there, he's just having a little feel around at the moment. It strikes me that it must be quite weird to be in one environment and then all of a sudden, because of the style and the size of our enclosures, our males are generally popped directly into our female's territory. Whereas in the wild, he would have gone across normal, open, clear ground, if you like, no pheromones, no activity, and then he would bump into the territory of the female from wherever she was webbing up. So yeah, in captivity, our males are thrust directly into it, and 9 times out of 10 they respond straight away. They start giving off the right vibes, and there you go. He's having a little bit of a communication now. He's literally, you just see that fine shuddering. You see he's pouring a little bit with his pedipalps. Can clearly see the tibial hooks on the legs there. And many of these male baboon spiders are really pretty in their own way. They have obviously not as colourful as the females. The actual female of this species is really quite blue, like a steely grey blue, really nice. But our males, when you look at them up close, they have some of the most fantastic markings and colouring. And this guy's got a lovely gold carapace. You'll see there how they move around. They're so tentative. He's not 100% sure exactly where she is. Now, logic would say that the pheromones will be strongest around the entrance to the burrow, and then weaker the further away he gets from the burrow. Whether this is true or not is only it's only a guess. So we try and look at the behaviour of our male, and to see, quite often or not, when the closer they are to the burrows, the more hyped they become, more excited they become. So now what we're doing is we are literally just flicking backwards and forwards. This whole pairing took in the region of about an hour and a half, and it ended up becoming quite slow. Our male was not really giving it too much at all, And as you see there, he's just been up, climbed up onto the glass and had a little look around. He's been out the back of the tank and had a look around, come back in again. Now her burrow is literally just off centre to the left. Now you see there he's moving a little bit more now. There's a little bit more leg action there. But again, he's sitting there, he's fairly chilled. Here he goes. He's just starting to consider it. Now all of this time, and this has been like about an hour and a half, he has not ventured down near that burrow. He's walked over the top of it. He's not ventured down to have a look. Now is this the chance that we're waiting for? This is the point where he might just have a look. He's skirting around it again now. The entrance is literally just where his foot is now. Yeah, he's standing right above it. No, you see now we've been down this route. We've looked down there. There is actually another entrance to her burrow behind that cork bark, up against the glass. And we was really rather hoping that he didn't go down that way, because we wouldn't really have much of a view. But luckily, he's deciding to go up the glass again, looking for height all the time. It's interesting how with the terrestrial spiders, many of them, especially the males, will climb very happily. They're all over the place. Coming back down again. Again, we're not seeing any real communication, no solid communication. When we've paired these in the past, the males have been waving their pedipalps, slamming their feet down. You know, they've actually been very, very sort of full on, very talkative, if you like. This fella doesn't seem to be too bothered, really. He's very laid back, very relaxed. Now, this female has quite recently molted out, around about 2.5 months or so ago. So she should be, in theory, quite ready to copulate. Oh, hang on, here we go. Now we're going to have a proper look. This is what we've been waiting for all this time. You notice still no real major communication going on there. Here we go. There's a little bit of action there. I'd say she's close. You notice there he was tapping away there. That's normally something they do when the females are very, very close. There you go. Look, yeah, there we go. Now we're getting some proper chat out of him. He's actually found his voice. Now, where is she? Come on, boy. Entice her out. Here we go. That looked like a foot. Here we go. Look at that. She came out almost upside down. Now you notice there he's literally hooked her up straight away. No messing around. We've seen no aggression from our female, which is really, really good. And he has gone straight in for the pairing. As you can see there, you can see the embolia at the end there. His pedipalps are working like the clappers. It's difficult to see whether he's actually achieved an insemination. Normally with these, the insemination can be a little bit on the rough side. So we're waiting to see her basically get sort of bent in half. And that's normally the sign that he's actually had a successful insemination. So that's what we're looking for. He's still working away there. She's been incredibly receptive. And you can see there, how she almost goes sort of limp. She sort of hangs in his legs, if you like. He's literally holding her up and she just sort of hangs there. She's very, very chilled, very relaxed. But this can all change in an absolute instance. And we have a very good success rate with our males. And I put this down mainly to the conditioning of our females and our males, you know. We take really good care of our males. But if that female was to grab that male, by the time that we could get in there and do something about it, it would all be too late. He would probably be mortally damaged, and you know, you can't save them. And if they end up with severe wounds and things like that, you are far better off letting your female have him and just enjoy the meal. Many male spiders that are wrestled away from females die a very lingering death. They would have been better off left with the female. And at least then he dies quickly and she gets a super good meal as well, which is all very, very useful when we're looking for them to lay an egg sac later on. So if at all possible, we will look at getting our males in and out as safely as possible. But should she grab him, we generally, if that's the case, we would normally allow her to finish him off. It might seem a little cruel, but it's far better for our male. As you can see there, you can see he's probing away, and we can't tell whether he's actually managed to see. Look, it looks like he's inseminating there on that second one, that second pedipalp to the right. Now he's swapped over, he's looking for the left now. And this is something you'll often see all of the spiders do. They will work one pedipalp at a time, and then they will swap and use the other one, then they'll swap back and go back to the first one. So it's quite often a good sign if we're seeing them swapping over like that. Although we've not seen that traditional forced insemination, if you like. You see how her legs are still very, very limp. She is literally just letting him hold her there. Now, another good sign is that she's maintaining her position with her abdomen. Now some of them, especially some of the bigger spiders, will actually lift their abdomen, and this helps the male. It all depends on the species of spider. It's because every species, the way their emboli are laid out on their pedipalps, some of them face different ways, they face different angles, and this is because the spermithia on the females is different with all of the different species. They all have slightly different arrangements of their sexual organs, and this is one of the things that stops crossbreeding with certain spiders. It's because the male's sexual organs are not designed to be used on other females. There you go, look at that. He's just, you see, he's backing away, very tentative. She's holding her legs up. She's, oh yeah, there you go. Where she sidestepped then? That was a little bit of a moment there. We thought she might make a move. So now we leave our male. He's climbing up the back. He's done his job now. There is absolutely no point at all in turning him around to go back and have another go. He has had enough. Elvis has left the building. There you go. We just allow him to leave. He is safe out there now. We see our female. She is nice and chilled. We just give her a moment, and then she will return back to her burrow, and we can retrieve our male. There you go. She's off. She's had enough. Well, what did you think? Now that bit of footage there, I think it lasted for about 13 minutes. So it wasn't a particularly long video. In actual real time, that took about an hour and a half. Now, we put our male in. He didn't show a lot of interest, to be fair. He wasn't doing much in the way of communicating. And then he finally sort of woke up and had a little wander around. stood above her burrow for a while, and I thought any moment now she's got to come out. But then he wandered off, went back round, went and had a look outside, come back in again, and finally, we saw the very merest of communication going on with him, and then all of a sudden, there she was. She'd come up from the burrow, and yeah, she was pretty much full on. She came straight out. He picked her up straight away, which was nice. And then they copulated there and then. Now, we didn't see the normal. We tend to see quite a sort of bit of a violent sort of inception with these guys. Normally, with the baboon spiders, they can be quite sort of rough, but these didn't seem to show that. And he backed off. Eventually, you saw that he'd sort of finished doing whatever he was doing. He'd inseminated her, and then you see him back off, and he was a little bit edgy then. He backed away, and you can see that almost the fear in him. He was very, very cautious and careful how he backed off, and then that was it. Once he got away from her, he gave her a bit of a swerve and disappeared out the back of the tank. Now, you would have seen there, we actually left the tank on the shelf. So we filmed them on the shelf, but we kept the top off so he could get away and do whatever he needed to do. And yeah, and you see there he climbed out, exited the enclosure and went down the back. At which point then we literally lifted the tank off of the shelf and recaught him, put him back in his tub. Now he will be now left for maybe a week. We'll let him remake a new sperm web. We'll give him a feed, give him a drink, and then once we get that new sperm web, we'll pop him in again and we'll see where we can go with that. I always feel it's important that we try and get 2 successful pairings. That just increases our chances of a successful sack. Now, I'll be honest with you, we're at the moment with our pairings, we're a little bit, you know, we're giving them a try, but we're not 100% committed in with a lot of our pairings, and this is just purely down to time restraints. So an awful lot of the spiders that we've been playing around with have been cohabited. We've the ones that are sort of a little bit easier, we've allowed them just to live together. So we've had the nets out overnight, put them in them, let them do their thing, then we separate them in the morning, and then we pop them in again a bit later on in a couple of days time. We're always looking for that sperm web to see if the male's actually done the job. A lot of our metallicas, and as you know, we've got quite a few female metallicas, are cohabiting. We've got 3 that are cohabiting as we speak. We've also had some that we've paired and they've also molted out again. So yeah, very, very, very poor results with those at the moment. We've got at the moment we've got an Namibia on an egg sac, and we've got a Regalis on an egg sac. Our Regalis, the first Regalis egg sac that we had laid this year, ended up being a duff. It just went bad and she kicked it out, threw it out, and it was all rotten. There was only a couple of little nymphs in it, but they were very poor. The actual sac itself was just rotten, but we don't know why. We don't understand why a sac would go rotten like that. No idea. So yeah, another mystery in the world of spider breeding, but one that we shall just keep digging away at, and hopefully we'll get a chance and understand these things. Now we've got another female Regalis. She is also on an egg sac at the moment, so fingers crossed that will be a good one. We're going to allow that one and the Namibia, we're going to allow them to hatch out with mum. And we'll let her rear them up for a little while and see how they go there. Again, time restraints. It's going to help us to leave them in there that little bit longer. And then once they start getting a little bit of size and they start moving around and they're all over the place, we'll then catch them up and we'll separate them. But we're going to give them that first initial stage with mum. Now with some spiders, that really, really helps out. You know, we get a stronger spiderling by doing it that way. Others, we find it's a little bit better to actually remove them early on and rear them ourselves from eggs with legs. So it's not the same procedure with every species of spider. They're all a little bit different, and we have to tailor our care to suit the species that we're dealing with at the time. So if you're getting into your breeding, don't fall into the trap of thinking they're all the same. You know, we often get people, they seem to think the magic number for removing an egg sac is 35 days, 30 days, 35 days. You know, that is not the case. You know, many of these spiders will go longer. Of course, the key factor as to how long it takes before you remove an egg sac from a spider is, one, the species of the spider. We need to know what it is. And two, also the temperature that you're keeping that spider at. If your spider's kept quite cool, it's the actual growth rate, the development is much slower. If you're quite warm, like in our room, then it's a little bit quicker. So, you know, you have to take these things into account to before you make that decision. So when you actually put up online, you know, looking for advice, and you put a post out, you know, I've bred, say for argument's sake, my my Pia Minia. I've got an egg sac. How long do I wait before I pull it? Well, the big question that all the people that are answering, which I never see them answer, I never see them ask this. They all come out and they all turn around and say, "Oh, 30 days, you should be good." No one ever asks the temperature in which your spider is being kept at, and that is the key piece of ingredient that will decide on how many days you should leave them. If you're keeping that Pia Minia in a cooler environment, 40 days would probably be far more appropriate than 30, you know. So bear these things in mind, especially when asking online for advice. Always think out of the box a little bit and you'll be fine. Right, well, I hope you enjoyed that. Should we get an egg sac from this spider, we will leave it with her. Most of the baboons are really good mums, and it pays to leave them with them. So it makes life a lot easier for us, less work, but it's also a really cool thing, because the day will come when it hatches out and we will look in there and we will see tiny little spiderlings around the mouth of the burrow. And that is when you know you've made it, you've done a good job. So we look forward to that sight in the future, but we will pair her again one more time, just to hopefully seal the fate of that spider. Right, well, I hope you enjoyed that, and don't forget, be calm, be gentle, and love your spider. I'll see you all soon, guys.